Good day, everyone, and welcome to Open Contact TV. Today, we're going to take a few minutes to give our thoughts and impressions on Elan As Channeled by Andrew, the latest book, Reflections of My Home World, and how intertwined it is and with Open Contact, what's going on now. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Wendy. This is my husband, Dave. And this whole channel is inspired by connecting with those who are also excited and sharing our experiences and our synchronicities and our journey with the idea of open contact. My experiences with Elan teachings, Bashar teachings, channeled through Daryl Anka, as I'm sure most of you probably already know. So this channel is sort of dedicated to my journey with all of that, our journey together, opening contact with our extraterrestrial friends, and most importantly, opening contact with more and more of all that we are as these teachings bring us. I guess I'm so touched by this book that I actually told Dave, and we've had a hard time making this video because of the emotions that it has has me swirling in, because of just my connections. And I know I'm starting to fall over my words. So is there anything you want to interject here?
as open contact specialists, one of the things that we like to do is meet with others and discuss with others, right now mostly online, and talk about things related to open contact, to talk about channeling and channeling information, and how that really is a direct reflection of the idea of open contact, how we can improve our vibrations to be more aligned with the idea of open contact and contact in general. So this is the second book in the series that we've purchased as a physical book, and this is a lot of newer information that talks about, as the title describes, Reflections of My Home World. And this is Elan channeling information, talking about not only his home world, but how we can open up our imagination more to his society and the things that the Essassani experience in their physical expression, and to broaden our ideas of how we could imagine our reality to be. And it would normally be said, take what you want and get rid of the rest. But really, because all things exist and all things are possible, it's really a matter of sharing in his perspectives of what civilizations can be, what his civilization is like, what his home world is like, how they interact with each other on their home world and otherwise, how they experience, I guess what you could say, the spiritual realms that always exist everywhere, and how they incorporate that within their society, within their everyday living. And we certainly don't want to give away the content.
Oh, sure.
Of the book,
and really, this is just about really our own impressions on it. And
so I will say, every page,
yes, every sentence, every word for me
was a remembrance,
yes,
to us. So Elan has talked about it quite a lot. Bashar also, the idea that we're really just remembering more of ourselves. And this book is
it was such a remembering for me.
it is, every page was almost an aha moment of remembering how things are, remembering how things can be, remembering other versions of ourselves, participating in these things. And for us, almost all the information that he talks about seem to be more of a natural way of our existing. Sort of like everyone talks about the idea that we're all star seeds, and where did you come from, and what star were you from, and what civilization are you from. Many times the idea is people feel like they don't belong here on Earth because they've connected so much with their star family. And the fantastic thing about this particular book specifically is Andrew has created many images of what he's talking about, and the imagery is literally just a carnival of imagination.
It is amazing, and it does. It really brings you into their world and how they interact with each other, and all of it, their civilization, how what they look like. And I have to preface this too by saying, I from the moment I saw Bashar for the first time and Elan for the first time, Andrew and Daryl, I knew immediately, like many people. I've got my contact crystal on. I think for many of us, when you hear the information, it's a remembering. It's not something you didn't already know. It's something that I as soon as I heard it, I remembered. I began to remember who I was. And so the imagery for me in these pages has been absolutely
activating.
So activating. And for example, when I very first found Bashar, and he had talked about his crystal that he had created, and I did like a meditation where I actually had this spiral piece of metal, and I wanted so badly to connect with his crystal. When he said it was also, I believe in one of his events, he said it was also a form of communication, as well as a piece of art, as well as many other things. And the image that Andrew put in this book of Bashar and his crystal immediately brought me back to that moment in my meditation where I used that tool that I had as a permission slip to connect with the entire Essassani civilization, the whole collective consciousness. Now, I know that may sound crazy to a lot of people, and this was a long time ago, probably, I don't know, at least 10, 12 years ago. So when I did that, it was as if, boom, like I knew that who I was, or that was a part of me. And when I saw that image, it did something. What's the words I want to use? Activate. It reminded me of that moment and so many other moments. It helped me connect with some of my other fractals, my other counterparts, my Essassani counterparts, and what we're here to do too, Dave and I. I'm so appreciative of this book, and I want to say we are in no way affiliation. We love you, Andrew. Thank you for doing this, and all the team that's involved in this and everything you're putting out there. I would love to be able to have all of these images all over the walls, because I feel like I'm walking into the world, that world that I remember. And I would cry and cry and cry through this whole book, because Dave would read something, we were reading it together, so he would read, and I feel like I need to read it again. Like, even as I'm reading it again, I'm hearing and seeing things much like all of these channelings from Daryl, from Bashar, from Elan, that when you can hear them over and over and over again and hear something different every time.
And I will say, a lot of people we hear many times at the Bashar events. How can I connect better with my counterpart?
Well, this is I'm tingling.
This is a permission slip.
A big
that
one.
For us, for sure, was a very rapid reconnection, reinforcement of the connections that we already knew that we had, in new ways, in more stronger ways. And if you're watching this could certainly work for you as well. You know, reading the book, taking the physical action of getting the book, reading the book, looking at the pictures. Well, for us, discussing it as we're reading it probably contributed a lot to the swiftness of our reconnections to these things. And what I really want to say is, it's not so much that we remembered new connections as though it reinforced and solidified the connections that we already knew we had in a much more crystallized way.
And even the way he describes every single thing, it brings you right into their world, that vibration. And I gotta say, these images also, if you look at the images, one of the things that struck me is Anya. Okay, so when I saw that picture of them together, I just lost it, because I can't even think about it right now. And I've always joked around with people for a long time, and especially with Dave, how my own proportions, I'm just a little over 5 foot tall, but yet I've always felt like I had odd proportions, like long arm. I have long arms, long fingers, long feet, long toes, the hair, and it was like I immediately connected with my counterpart there, at least one of them.
So in the book,
and it just
7
took me away.
Talks about relationships and Elan's relationship with his female partner,
Anya. And even the description of her name is so wonderful. We're not going to give anything away, nothing. And we can't show you, and we're not, because we want you to read it for yourself and see it for yourself. But the uncanniness of the physical, and I've always worn my hair this way forever, for as long as I can remember. So the whole thing, I've got the chills. I feel like I'm going to float right out of this chair. So yeah, the images, along with the story, the way he tells the story, and just about their language, about how they, just all of it, the animals. Oh, and the picture with them playing music together. Forget about it. I'm just all a tingle. I am, and I know I must sound like I don't know. My vibration, our vibrations raise so much when we look at these books and when we read these, and of course, again, this is just also a small part of our story and all of our story. But if we're here together talking about this is part of his story, her story. This is part of our story, because that's what we've come to. We came here to explore this story together. So I'm deeply grateful for this book, and I don't even know what more I could say that could possibly have physical words even to explain all of the emotions, the physical responses, the dreams that we've had since reading this book.
So we know that when you're in the excited state,
excuse me,
following your excitement, doing the thing that is exciting to you, and sort of focusing your attention in a certain way that aligns your vibration to the thing of the excitement, that when you're in that state, you're in that frequency, you could connect to all the other excitement that comes along with that frequency, all the other beings, not only Essassani, but anyone, any consciousness, any collective. If you're in that bandwidth of excitement,
Yes.
all of that is available to you immediately.
I'm so glad you said that. Everyone that's connected to this energy, this idea, whether it's open contact, first contact specialist, and the all of the other divisions that are going to be gathering with us as we become part of this interstellar alliance, as we the interaction between the Essassani and us, and learning each other's worlds, has that in of itself is social engineering and on scales that we can't even fathom.
And if you're drawn to this kind of information, it may not even be necessarily for the purpose of open contact and meeting our extraterrestrial friends and family. It could be, so for instance, in this book he talks about the oceans and the waters on Essassani. So you might just love the ocean and love dolphins and whales and not really know why exactly, but being in the vibration of connecting to these things opens up your conduit of information to the same type of excitement that's on other worlds. So, when you go to sleep and you're dreaming about, not asleep, but when you're laying down ready to go to sleep and you're thinking about, all the fun you had that day playing with the dolphins, if you're someplace doing that, connecting to these ideas, just thinking about these ideas is going to open up your imagination, your dreamlike, what's the word I want to use? Just the thoughts that you have, the images that you may receive, the communications that you may receive from the life from another planet. All these things, when you think about it, you really start to see how all things are connected, and all things are always connected and available. So, like I said, every page, every word, every chapter was really a spiritual aha moment.
More than I can even explain, and it's just interesting too, as I was thinking about how long I've been this is not new to me. The channeling is not new to me. And I just celebrated on my channel Languages of Lights. It's just celebrated 10 years. But I feel like this is such a culmination of all of that, and this, and now, and open contact, because it's always been a part of that whole. My channel has always been about this part of my inspiration, my growth, the tools that I've been sharing, the teachings that I've been excited about it since I started, and this is like all my Essassani Bashar Ascension book, because I started writing notes about this stuff back in 2011, all about how we would be teaching this someday, that this is who I was. I am a first contact specialist. I drew a photo. I have a drawing in this book of this crystal, and the entire interstellar contact crystal behind that sits behind Bashar, drawn in this book ever since then, and have been excited to share these teachings. And so we have never been able to visualize. There were so many questions I think we don't ask, and this book answered all of those questions for about who they are and what they're like and what they do and how they live and how they love and just all of it, that in details that I feel that we have never had the opportunity to explore in this way. And so it was deeply
And it talks a little bit too about the channeling process and the
Yes.
sort of the agreements and the
and that helped me a lot too.
process from a higher level of the idea of making these types of connections, and to some extent the purposes of them, and the I guess you could say end goal of the whole thing. So,
And we have a friend too that received a copy of the book as a gift, and she was just so giddy with excitement. So maybe there's someone you might know that has been thinking about this or talking about it, or maybe you thought you're crazy and you need a little confirmation that,
so thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, and everyone, and Bashar and the Essassani family, and the planet of Essassani, the place of living light for Essassani, for sharing itself through this conduit, this channel. So, and we love you guys, and we just want to share our excitement about all of this, and connect with all of you also that are equally excited about open contact and all of the aspects of that, not just our Essassani family, but all of the aspects of what it would be like to be a part of an intergalactic society in which we're interacting with all types of beings and star systems. So
we will include a link.
Yes, we'll put the link.
But the website for Elan and Andrew is elaninteractions.com. We will include a link. You could purchase the book, I believe. Is this through Amazon also? Or this might be directly? We'll include.
I was like, I don't remember. I can't remember if I bought it. I think I bought it through Amazon.
So thank you, Andrew, again, and we hear from the.
And we are very excited.
You might be channeling
it says
once
so.
Again.
Oh yes, channeling, and we're excited about the next book.
Yes, we are. Thank you, everybody, and until another now.
Nyoso asha ate ene shana asha katana ati shekopasha shiana shakana shamana kete kayata.
We love you.